Hello guys. So in this session, we are going to dive into one of the most important aspect of the UPSC interview, that's preparing for the DAF-based questions. So the detailed application form, the DAF is essentially your personal profile. And the interview board and the panel will rely heavily on this document to frame their question that you have already given to them, right? See, if you see my interviews over the course of my 3 interviews, this is what I have realized how important it is to thoroughly prepare questions that can come directly from your DAF, because DAF will act as a starting point, and if you can begin well, and then you can divert the entire interview based on your ability. So you're planning. That's exactly what we are doing here. So in fact, most of my interviews began with the questions about my education, the hobbies, the work experience, and the business that I have, and the sociology optional. All these are the first question directly come from DAF, until and unless there is something which is significant, which is going on as a very important news. They may start with that. Otherwise, they will definitely start with the DAF. 99% of the time, the first question will be from DAF. So if you prepared this well, that actually sets the positive tone for the rest of your interview, and you can guide the board as per your wish, where you want to take the board. If you prepare well, and if you can execute the plan that we are actually looking at, then you can do that. See, again, the DAF is the most important aspect that we need to focus, because again, it is very clear that it gives the interview panel a detailed overview of your personal and professional background, your achievement, that include your education, your work experience, your hobbies, your extracurricular activities, and other significant details that you have already mentioned in that. So they try to explore you right from the DAF itself. So definitely the first question will come from that. So the information will allow the board to ask questions that are unique to you. And often these are the first questions you'll face in the interview. For instance, in my first interview, the panel started with a question about my educational background, and then transitioned into a more in-depth question about my work experience and the business and everything. And these DAF-based questions are usually less stressful, because they are about topics you are familiar with, but they set the tone for the interview. So your responses here are going to be very crucial. That set the tone for entire interview, that will guide the interview board, and that's how your final outcome will also be defined. Okay, so be very clear with your DAF, and that's where I'll be helping you. We'll be sitting together for one-to-one sessions, and then we'll try to analyze, we'll frame the questions which are possible. Everything will do that. So again, one of the most common area that the panel will explore is your educational background. So in my first interview, I got the question directly from educational background. In my third interview, I got it from sociology optional, which I have. Second interview, the question was related. There are many questions from DAF, and then my preference, which was IPS, they asked the question from that. So DAF is actually the starting point anyway. They may ask you why you choose a particular subject. They may ask you why you choose a particular service, or how your education has influenced your career options. Right? As I told you, I was asked why I have chosen sociology as the optional subject. Despite having an engineering background, why I chose this optional. So that again, I explained my interest is in understanding the social dynamics and the structure that drew me towards it, because we already prepared, right? And I connected that interest to sociology that plays a key role in governance and public policy. So when you reply like this, you cannot frame that reply in front of the board. You actually prepared for that question, and you deliver what you have actually prepared. There is a plan that you execute the plan in front of the board. You're not going to do anything new over there. You're not going to create an answer at that point of time. So there is a predictability. The questions that they are going to ask. Based on that, you'll prepare and deliver that only. So if you have a background in engineering, law, medicine, or any other field, expect question on how your education can contribute to public service. So that's the first and most important question that you can expect, and you can get very well prepared for that. The panel want to see you how you can apply your knowledge to real world governance challenges. For instance, if you have studied economics, let's talk about one example. You need to prepare for discussing how economic theories can apply to public policy or development issues. So they'll ask you to connect it with that. And it's very important to show that your education is not just theoretical. You should highlight its practical relevance to the civil service, how it is going to help you. Then you need to convince them, you need to make them understand that you know the stuff, you have the stuff. Again, uh, work experience. If you have worked, that's again another key area where the panel will ask you question. They'll be very, very much interested in knowing about that. They are curious to know why you have chosen to transition from your current career to civil services and how your previous work experience will benefit you as a public servant. In my second interview, they asked me why I wanted to move a relatively better business that I'm doing at that point of time to an uncertain journey of civil services and other things where your salary will be very less compared to what you're getting from your business at this point of time. Like that, they asked the question. So I made it a point to connect to my experience that I've gained from them, and I told them, and I not only told them, I convinced them because you are already prepared. How that is actually going to that entrepreneur skill, that learning that I have is going to help in the civil services, okay, as a valuable administrator. So how it is going to help you to solve problem, how it is actually help me in the leadership skills, which is essential for governance and all these. So if you worked in a private sector, the panel may question whether you can handle the bureaucratic and the slower pace of public service, because the pace at which the private sector work and the public sector is entirely different. Here the bureaucracy and the rules and everything is entirely different. So again, in such cases, it's very important to emphasize the transferable skills from your work, such as team management. Talk about that, give emphasis on that, leadership, decision making, handling the crisis, and explain how these skills will help you in the civil services. So, talk about those skills that you gain from that, and then how can you apply this and how can that help here. Make sure you can articulate clearly why this career, the new careers or the change in career makes sense for you, and why you are drawn to public service. Your real motive, whether real, not real motive, the motive that we are going to answer, whatever we have prepared, okay? Again, your hobbies and interest. These are often used by the panel to get better understanding of your personality and how you engage with the world outside of your academic and professional life. That's again very important to define you as a person. So they will come to know you as a person more from your hobbies and your interest and everything. So hobbies can provide insights into your character. And the panel may ask you how these hobbies have shaped you, your thoughts, your thinking, or contributed to your overall development. Need to be in a position to answer this. Be very well prepared with that. Again, in one of my interview, the panel asked about my hobby, that was playing cricket. So instead of just talking about it as a recreational activity, I took that opportunity to explain how cricket taught me teamwork, leadership, and the ability to stay calm under pressure. That's the qualities that are essential for civil servant. So if they're asking something, you connect it with the qualities of civil servant, right? Now, like previously I told you, when you're working in private sector, the speed, the team management, the management of crisis situation, these skills you can apply here. So connect here. If I'm talking about cricket, I can again talk about the teamwork and the leadership and the ability to stay calm under pressure, all these qualities, right? So see, again, if your hobby is like, let's say, trekking, you can mention how it has taught you perseverance and how to handle the challenges, qualities that actually help you to become a public servant, right? So whatever be the hobby, connect it like that. So the key is not just to talk about your hobby as something which you enjoy. They ask you about cooking, okay, they ask you about trekking. Don't tell that it's time pass or leisure, or this is something which you enjoy or spend time. No, that's not the case. You connect it to the traits that make a successful civil servant. How this hobby can help you, how your previous employment can help you in civil services. Always be in a position to connect like that. So think about the deeper lessons you have learned from your hobbies, from your previous jobs, from your education, and get ready to present those insights to the panel and think like a civil servant. Okay, again, coming to the other common area, the questions comes from your home state, your personal background also. The panel might ask you about the social, economic, and political issues of your home state or city, that to see how well informed you are about your local governance challenges, how well informed you are about your your city, your state, and everything. For instance, during one of my interview, I was asked about recent development in my home state. I had of course, you will be prepared for this, and I was able to discuss the issues and offer insights into how it could be managed from an administrative perspective. So again, these are the questions that you are expecting, and you know that they're going to ask this question. So you need to plan for this, and you will deliver only the planned and prepared answer, which is connected with the requirement of civil services, or the answer which they are expecting. You're not delivering the actual answer what is there in your mind. You're delivering the answer which they want to get it from you. Okay, see, the answer can be given in many ways, but what we need to do here is, for the question, because these are subjective question, anyone can give any answers. We want to find what they need. We deliver what they need to select you as a civil servant in that limited post. So it's very essential to stay updated on key issues in your home state, especially those that related to public welfare, infrastructure, governance, right? So the panel might ask you about your views on these topics and how you would handle them if you were in a position of authority. Right? And they will test your leadership skill. They'll test you how you can manage a team, whether you're a team person. So they might also ask about your family background to understand your social understanding. The trick here is to stay objective and well informed about all these. Offer a balanced view on both the challenges and the solution. Always think from their side what the answer they are expecting from you. So just like I told you, I studied this. So you need to be in a position to connect that knowledge, how it is going to help you as an administrator. You work there, so you need to think it in this way, how it is going to help you as an administrator, the qualities or the knowledge that you gained over there. Your hobby is this. This is not just a time pass. You need to explain them how this actually going to help you in administration. Okay. See, when I was preparing for my interviews, I spent significant amount of time going through my DAF, line by line, word by word. This is what my mentors told, thinking about every possible questions that the panel could ask. I try to anticipate not just the direct question like why did you choose sociology, how BTech engineering is going to help you, how your background is going to help you in civil services, how cricket is going to help you, right? So they even ask questions like how where you place the fielder for an outsinger bowl, how you do how to my friend they asked me how to cook chicken biryani. So you need to know what they're expecting from these answers questions, right? Indirect question also you need to prepare, such as how my subject choice connect to larger governance issues, how your hobby connect to leadership skills. So you need to prepare detailed response for each and every aspect of your DAF: direct questions, indirect question, sub questions, main questions, including hobbies, work experience, state, home state, city, and everything. That's where I'll be helping you. I'll be sitting with you for 5 one-to-one sessions, and I'll be giving you all the possible questions which anyone can ever ask from your DAF. And we'll sit together, we'll try to answer, and then only you will be attending the mock interviews. And then only you'll be attending the final interview. See, being well prepared for DAF-based questions help you to immensely, you know, help you definitely in any challenging question. So DAF is the key because that's the starting point. If you start well, that's fine. So these questions are direct, right? And these questions are expected. These are predictable. So they allow you to, make yourself comfortable when you start with the interview, because you know these topics, and when you start with the topics that you already know, you will feel comfortable, and then you can guide as per our plan. We make a plan. Based on that plan, we can guide them. We can guide them what the questions that they are going to ask you. So this will actually help you to set a positive tone and build the rapport with the panel also, if you prepare your DAF well. If you cannot answer question from your DAF, then you're screwed. It's very difficult. So, see, guys, we were talking about DAF, and what I need to tell you in conclusion is DAF plays a pivotal role in the UPSC interview. So, prepare thoroughly for every section of your DAF: direct questions, indirect question, main questions, sub questions, connected questions. We need to make a flow chart. You start with any point, then connect with the flow charts and connect with the other elements in your DAF also. Okay, and connect everything together with the civil services also. So you'll be ready to answer questions confidently and make a great first impression. Remember, the panel used these questions to understand who you are as a person. So always connect your answers to the traits that are essential for public service, such as leadership, decision making, empathy, compassion, integrity, etc. So that's about this session, guys. If you're looking for the mentorship for interview, you can get in touch with me. So the details are given in the description. See you guys in the next session.